What's going on YouTube? This is Chaos Rain, and I'm going to do a bit of a build overview of where I'm at, and give you kind of a estimated price of my build as is, and what I've spent slash, basically what I've spent all the currency I've made gambling. But first, I'm going to start this video off with a 50-50 gamble. Um, it's a it's a 2 in 3. I can hit lightning or cold res, and I'll be fine. Um, 2 and 4, sorry. If I hit life or rarity, it is a brick for me because I want to hit something else. What we're going to try and hit is the cold res. And if we hit cold res, we want to hopefully unveil the rarity. This is my rarity helmet. I actually got this from my crew. Um, let's see, it looks like, all right, my friend just messaged me. Um, but either way, this is a 20 div gamble, so let's go start with this, and then I'll go with a build overview after the gamble. So wham. It looks like it took rarity off. Unfortunate for us. Well, I guess I can go unveil it. Let's see. It took off the suffix and gave us a prefix, which is worst case scenario, unfortunately. So the only thing I can do here is get like something like this, and then unfortunately that's just 20 div down the drain. It happens. I will Exalt Slam, see if I can hit something maybe, but I don't think I can. I might just craft on the last suffix though. Currently have 153 life, so it's not the worst. Either way, so this is my helmet. We're just going to go ahead and put it back on. I might recraft it in a video later. This helmet actually only cost me a couple of chaos. I did use a blanching and hit 2 white on the first one, so whatever that's worth also. And let's go ahead and just do this. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go back. Okay. Let's turn on the rest of my auras, and I will go from there. I think that's everything. All right. So first things first, we'll go over our gear. Now, this is a multi-mirror build. I will start with that. I spent a lot of time and currency and effort building it to the way it is. So just a heads up, if you're looking to replicate this, it'll cost you a few mirrors. However, I do have a kind of a timestamp of where I started the build and how I made out what I made. Now, let's go over the bow. The bow is a synthesized bow with 1081 max fizz. I end up getting this as a direct trade for one of my double corrupted mage buds that I end up hitting. Um, it's worth at least a mirror, I believe. I don't know if there's any mirrored bows out there right now that are you know for sale, but at the time when I looked, I price checked this, and there was one up for 1.3 mirrors. There's this ring as well. This ring is worth the mirror plus change. It ended up costing me the 35 div or 300 div fee. I have this Feral's Fur. This took me over 50 Feral's Fur to hit, and during that process, I end up hitting a +1/+1 all res and a +1 50% increased damage. I traded both of those for a mirror and change, and that's how I mirrored this with the mirror and change. We are obviously using the Calandra's Touch, so we have a total of 9 Frenzy charges. We do not have Frenzy on gloves. Thought about going for 10 Frenzies, but I don't really care that much. We have just this Pepega Quiver. It's attack speed, intelligence, and chaos damage with crafted attack speed. Bow attacks, T1 life. Basically, I ended up getting this for like, I think, a couple div. We end up getting an upgraded Utmost, so we can actually do elemental damage. We got 8 pin, not the best, but we end up getting very high spell suppress, which saves me a whole bunch of nodes. You saw it before. Our rarity used to be double rarity, but it's a single rarity. However, I am probably just going to get the craft for rarity to put on the suffix and call it a day, because that craft is inherently higher than this craft, or inherently higher than the base. But we'll see. I might recraft it, maybe make a crafting video. We'll see. We have the Relication Patience. We have actually double corrupted upwards of think 100 of these between me and my friend, and this is the best one we hit. I'm keeping it because it's really, really insane for what I do. The reason why I use this plus this is we actually I'll get to that in a second, but we actually have a setup that makes a lot of sense for it. So then we will go into our Mage Blood here, which is Hatred or Effect and area of Effect. Now, Ice Shot is an area of effect gem, as well as Herald of Ice being area of effect. And if I decide to use the Void Shots again, they also are area of effect. All of these area of effect things can get increased, and you can overlap the Void Shots if you have enough AoE, and it does do some serious damage. So it is worth mentioning that. Now, this is basically if I take this off, I lose an arrow, I think, and I lose my res for lightning. Oh, let me double check that. No, I don't. Okay, so I just basically lose the arrow, a bunch of life and stuff like that. Now I could use Void Flesh instead with an extra arrow for all the flat cold, but this I actually got this because I was using Original Sin. I still have it. I just don't use it at this moment. But yeah, we're using Flasks gold because we want to get more gold. Quicksilver, this is tier 2, but we settled because we rolled like 50 of them and didn't get tier 1. We could just purchase one, but I've rolled so many, I'm not going to change it now. We have the chance to avoid being stunned during effect. It's low rolled, but because we have some nodes that give us stun immunity, stun resistance, we have 120% stun avoidance, so we cannot be stunned. Between this, some tattoos, and a node, the crit node, we have 100% reduced extra crit damage, so crits are basically useless. We avoid ignite 20% of the time, but ignite usually does no damage to us because we have the 83 fire res. We have chill and freeze avoidance. We cannot be shocked, and we have a lot of movement speed, and our damage is pretty friggin' good. Um, this is tooltip, obviously. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I will mention it again. I do not use POB. So if you guys would like my POB, I have made my profile public now. You are welcome to use it. It looks like we got a sale, so you're going to go ahead and deal with that for a second. I'm sorry. I'll go over what else I have in my jewel slots and everything after. If I can make a sale, I can make a sale. Thank you, sir. Enjoy. Alright. So, let's go here to my character sheet. And let's start up here. We have this Light of Meaning with increased cold damage. I chose this because a friend recommended it to me, and when you take it off, it's yeah, it's a pretty big chunk of tooltip. I go by tooltip because I don't use POB. I rather play the game. Then we are using a LE Pen Intuitive Leap. We actually corrupted a whole bunch. Not double corrupted, but a corrupted a whole bunch to try and get corrupted blood. We didn't get it. We didn't want to spend like 30 div for it. We end up getting LE Pen. That's fine. Then we have down here, there is the Watcher's Eye. This is a pretty well rolled, pretty expensive Watcher's Eye. I could keep divining it to make it, crazy, but I think I'm good with where it's at. So this Watcher's Eye costs us a fortune, but it was worth it. We have a increased effect of non-damaging elements on a natural instinct. We are freezing and chilling, and eventually, when I get around to it, I will probably make a new helmet, craft a new helmet for myself. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to craft, but I have a vague idea of what I want to do, and I can go over that in the video. This Natural Instinct, as you see, is giving us a actual ton of stats, and the reason we're past here is because we're stacking frenzies and power, or not power, endurance charges. And then we have the nodes down here, which give us, evasion, movement speed, attack speed, and minimum frenzy, which is nice. And then frenzy on kill and damage per frenzy charge. We have 9, so this is a huge amount. And then we have these nodes that we can take if we get some levels. We're only 94, so 4 levels would get us a lot more utility here. The area of effect, the stun duration doesn't do anything, unfortunately. The armor does a little bit at least. And yeah, there's that. And then we are using a cold Watcher's Eye with disorienting display, snowstorm, and prismatic heart. This prismatic heart isn't absolutely necessary for this current setup. It is. I'm built around it. But if you get your reses fixed better than I have mine, you can actually just use these. I have it over here as a maybe, which is really helpful. I also gain 8% of lightning damage as extra cold damage against chilled. I don't have lightning damage, so this is just kind of meh. But I do have a little bit of flat, but yeah. This is really good also if you're doing maybe a cold lightning convert lightning arrow, which is pretty insane. I've done it before. And then there's this, which you can blind enemies when you use elemental skill. Something to note is that this works with original sin, because original sin only converts the damage, not the type of gem it is. It's still an elemental gem. And yeah, that's pretty much the tree. I will close this out, kind of show you what we got going. You can copy it. Now you don't really need to spend too crazy amount on the Watcher's Eye. I did because I had the currency. And then for this, we are using Oath of Winter. You can actually use a couple of different ones. Oath of Winter is one of my favorite ones because the way it works is if you hit something and you didn't freeze it, you apply a stack. If that stack then, if you then hit them again afterwards and didn't freeze them, you apply another stack. Eventually, you will guarantee yourself to freeze them, and you will increase the freeze by freeze duration. Also, you will enemy frozen for um, anything past zero point 0.3 seconds is frozen for 2 seconds scaling upwards. So you can actually freeze them for like 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds or more for one freeze. Just keep in mind you can freeze things multiple times. Like you can just chain freeze them over and over and over again, and that's something that is very very easily obtainable and possible to do with this build. I no longer fire arrows in all directions, so unfortunately I don't have like that shotgunning capability, and I won't be using my very very pricey unique ring setup, which is Original Sin plus Nimbus. This was an upgrade I got recently. I actually traded a regular one plus change for this, and they were okay with it, so that's cool. But my gloves, they are the highest tier. I end up getting the fractured T1 evasion. I settled for the mods you see as the prefixes. This is not the mods that I think you should settle for. This is just what I settled for because I felt like it's what I wanted. Unfortunately, it's either what do you call it? Dominant, so I can't just craft the prefixes without bricking the um, overall setup of it. This is between this is 14 plus 10 suppress. That's pretty good. It's 24 suppress in one piece. Now I could probably take some nodes and you know brick my suppress for a bit and still be fine. I am 10 suppress over, so you know it's fine. I could brick it and then get it up to there, but I got it to perfect, and I don't think it's worth my time right now to, brick that and try and get it to perfect again, because it's a lot of currency spent. Already have spent a decent amount making these gloves, and I'm pretty satisfied with over 1,000 evasion on them. It gets me pretty fair amount. I have 47% chance to evade, 47% physical damage reduction. They're pretty even because the way Feral's fur, it's just armor evasion to kind of set up to do this. But yeah, that's pretty much that. I hope you guys enjoy this, build update. This is again I shot Deadeye, and yeah, oh, before I forget, This is my Ascendancies. We are taking Frenzies because we get a lot of stuff for Frenzies. We are taking Gathering Winds because Tailwind is OP, and we have Chain against Terrain, and 2 additional projectiles. Now you could potentially drop the projectiles if you wanted to do like Far Shot and you had GMP, because GMP is a less multiplier, but if you have Far Shot plus GMP, you actually end up doing more damage um, further the shots go out. Now you also could use Occupying Force for map clearing. I have done this too. Occupying Force allows you to just overlay a whole bunch of Mirage Archers on the field, even with the less multiplier and the less attack speed, you end up having 3 Mirage Archers, and then if you have the node over here, which is increased Mirage Archer duration, you have just like the most of the most in your Mirage Archer setup. Now, honestly, what I'll probably do, I'll just do it now before I forget. Just refund this because I don't have the Mirage Archer setup. I actually had it for a different build setup. I'm going to take the AoE because area of effect on Ice Shot is really good. Now, I do have a lot of, what do you call it? Experience playing other variants of this build, and especially cheaper variants of this build. So if you guys are interested, please check out some of my older videos. I cover them, and most of them are true to this date. I can pretty much pick up all of the budget stuff that I have, you know, used on those builds, put them on this build, and I'm set. So without further ado, this has been Chaos Rain. Hope you guys have a good one, and catch you in the next video.